Oh, man, Mavs get a 9-point victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 2 of their series as they even up at 1 game apiece. On Shan and RJ here on 105 to the Fan. Good morning. 6 a.m. club time. I'm RJ Choppy. He's Bobby Belt. Peyton and Ryan alongside. It is finally a Friday. We made it through another week, Robert.
We did. We made it. Thank God. TGIF. Now, I wonder if we're going to get through next Friday. Because you're not here next Friday.
I am not here next Friday.
And Sean is not here next Friday.
He is not here next Friday.
And it might get a little dangerous. I think I can say it. I don't think it's like a spoiler alert or anything. Next Friday, it's going to be a Nosebleeds reunion.
Oh, baby.
So it'll be Zach and Eric sitting in here next Friday with me and Peyton being the one determining, should I dump what those three idiots just said?
Yeah, that's going to be
Which is a little, I don't know how that's going to go.
Especially with what he just said in the kitchen.
Oh,
we were all in there. Thank God that he didn't say no microphone.
6:40, a game that we had requests for it to return this week. One of your favorite games we play will return at 6:40. No, it's not high-low. It's How Young is Peyton Russell.
I really want to do sports match next week.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
Dude, we got when we did the Facebook survey with just like people who would like the Facebook page and said, what's a segment you'd like to see come out? It was like almost unanimous. People were saying like, I love sports match. Bring sports match back. So people love that.
All right. So we usually on a Cowboys Monday, we usually do star up, star down. So, the Mavs don't have a star on their helmet. So what can we do here? Giddy up, giddy down?
Yeah. Saddle up, saddle down.
Up. Yeah.
Mav up, Mav down.
Huh?
Mav up, Mav down.
That's lame. That's one of your worst.
Shots fired at UTA.
That's one of your worst.
Slogan. Mav up.
Yeah, but there's no Mav down.
No. Well, yeah, how do you Mav down?
Yeah, how do you Mav up then either? So let's just do giddy
turn
up.
the horse upside down.
Giddy up, horse down. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, give me your first one. Do you have one?
All right, yeah. Let's go star up or Mav up or saddle up, giddy up, whatever you want to say. Giddy up, Josh Green. Josh Green was so crucial to this basketball team in the second and third quarter when Luka just could not really give you anything. And Kyrie, for some reason, didn't want to. Kyrie Irving last night, Chop, finishes 5th on the team in shot attempts. There were 4 guys taking more shots than him in this game last night, which is absolutely wild. But to me, it was a huge shot to end the first half where Luka misses the jumper and it looks like it's about to be rebounded. Yeah. And Josh Green goes up, kind of tips it in the air. They play a little bit of volleyball with it for a second. Kyrie gets involved, collects the rebound, kicks it over to Josh Green, who nails the three-pointer right at the end of the first half. And that makes it a 6-point game, which, you're talking about if they don't collect that rebound, they potentially have numbers going the other way. It's a very different game. You're talking about instead of a 6-point lead at half, potentially just a 1-point lead or just totally demoralizing. You have a tie game at that point. So for me, I thought Josh Green was absolutely fantastic last night. I know when you just look at the box score, and this is why we say don't box score scout, it doesn't look like the most impressive line. It's 11 points. It's 1 rebound, 1 assist, and that's it. But, man, I thought he was really critical with some really good defense in this game and a couple of really big three-pointers on a night when you needed that perimeter game in order to win this one.
Look, you could have a star up, Mav up, giddy up to the entire bench. They're role players, and I don't mean bench. I mean by like reserves. I'm just talking about role players, non-Luka Kyrie.
Sure.
They don't win this game without those guys. They were tremendous. From P.J. Washington to Tim Hardaway Jr. Obviously, you mentioned Green. It was really a fun game to be able to see those guys thrive in a situation where they don't thrive like that very often.
Right. Yeah.
And look, he gets a lot of flack. I think people think he's a drama queen, and he just gets a lot of flack. The national media is all over him. We will play that audio, from Chandler Parsons, and
Old Chansum,
and then an NBA coach.
That's how you Mav down. We'd have to ask Chandler Parsons. How do you go in the club and just Mav down?
He Mavs down. He Mavs down because he's hurt. But we'll play that audio. But this was a big time giddy up for Luka. He had a really good, he had a solid game, and for a season, they always the stat is 50, 40, 90. 50% from the field, 40% from three, 90% from the line. I mean, he was 50, 60, 100.
Yeah.
That's how good he was last night. Just a tremendous day.
Bookended it. Like, he was really good at the beginning.
I mean,
hit some big shots in the fourth quarter. In between, it's not even that he was bad. It's just you could tell
he was laboring.
He was worn out. He's there was a point yesterday, I think during the second quarter, may have been the third. But it was when Oklahoma City was starting to build some momentum, and he tries to dribble. When he does it, he gets the trap there, and he always tries to just kind of push the ball forward between the two defenders and then slip through them and collect the ball and do his Luka thing. He tried and he couldn't. And he could not move through that space the same way that he normally does. Oklahoma City collects the ball, gets a fast break, scores. And there were a couple times last night where you saw, and I think Oklahoma City realized, the strategy here needs to be, let's beat up Luka as much as we can within the rules. I'm not saying they did anything that was cheap shot, like elbow to the gut or anything, but let's beat him up as much as we can within the rules of the game. And let's bring double teams his way and see if he is physically capable of working out of these things. And so obviously he had his struggles there in between, but that's where I think you get, the next giddy up shot.
Yeah.
And they just flat out don't win this game last night without P.J. Washington doing what he did. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block. He ultimately fouls out in this game late, but he gave you 41 minutes last night. He was essentially on the court the entire time until he fouled out. But man, he was absolutely crucial to them winning this game, and really helped pick up the slack, specifically when Luka was not able to contribute at the level that we're used to. Like I mentioned earlier at 5:30, Chop, from the 4-minute mark of the first quarter to the 4-minute mark of the third quarter, in that window there, Luka scored 7 points and was 5th on the team in scoring in that 24-minute window, half the game. And in that period, P.J. Washington puts up 16 for you.
That's great.
And was just big time. What you got out of him in the second and third quarter specifically, when Kyrie was kind of non-existent and Luka was laboring the way he was, I thought was absolutely fantastic.
It was. I think that there was. By the way, I love the fact that Luka did not wear the cutoff.
817, by the way, says giddy up or whoa.
I love that he didn't wear that stupid cutoff shirt, where it's. I mean, he cuts one sleeve off. Like he has, he cuts the right sleeve off, give him more. I thank God he went back to just a tank top. It just, thank goodness, it's just such an awful look.
Can I give we want mostly positivity. Look, DFW Metroplex, we swept in playoff games last night.
Yes, sir.
Mavs win, Stars win, Keller High School wins. So
did you go?
I did not go. Tonight is when I'm going, but okay. They've got a chance to put it away. They went to extras and hit a grand slam to win the game last night. But this is something where, if we're looking for a little bit of a whoa or a star down or giddy down or whatever you want to call it, man, Derek Lively, I love the energy he brings. He is somebody who challenges shots and does so really effectively. He had the best plus minus of anybody on the floor last night. Played 20 minutes. He was plus 18. That's all great stuff. Man, you cannot have Derek Lively in there for Daniel Gafford shooting 1 of 7. Like, he was just not finishing at the rim at all last night, and it made a big difference. If you get half of those to fall, I mean, those were high percentage shots, Chop. This wasn't like he was trying to, shoot some Hakeem Olajuwon fadeaways or do anything like that. This is Derek Lively at the rim, just missing 6 bunnies in this game. And so I thought it's a little bit of a good and bad for me with Derek Lively, because I love the energy that he brings. There was a point last night where I think it was when Oklahoma City took the lead or they tied it up. You saw him huddle everybody up, almost like the way you see in college basketball, like huddle the defense up. And that's what Derek Lively did. He's like, hey, guys, come on, bring everybody in, talks to him real quick defensively, gets him set up. So I love everything about that with Derek Lively. You got to put the ball in the bucket.
You do.
When you're that close.
You do.
You're talking about 2-foot shots where you missed 6 of them.
It felt like, they should have won this game by 20.
Yeah.
The Thunder are just good. Like, there's at some point you got to give Oklahoma City credit for being a good team. And this is going to be a dogfight series. The Mavs are going to win this. They're certainly capable. I mean, I thought going in, the Mavs were not the better team, but the team that was more ready to win.
Yeah.
Like the Thunder proved over the course of the year that they're the best team in the West. They proved that over the course of 82 games. The Mavs are more ready to win. That's just the nature of being a young team in Oklahoma City. And I picked the Mavs to win this thing. What are we picking? 6 games?
Yep.
And I still think that's in the cards.
I do too.
Now, it's going to the first 2 games gave me a little bit of pause.
You're gonna fight in all 6. If you win in 6, it's a fight in all 6.
You are gonna fight. There's no doubt about that, and it's gonna take. You're gonna have to hold them to under 35-40% from 3. You're gonna have to do that, and then you're gonna have to shoot. It's gonna be a very Clippers-esque. You're gonna have to shoot dang near 45 to 50% from 3 to win.
Yeah, you're gonna need guys like P.J. Washington to do what he did last night. You're gonna need Josh Green. You're gonna need the big Tim Hardaway shots. Which, I mean, he gets the 4-pointer. He also draws another foul on a 3-pointer, knocks down 3 big free throws. Tim Hardaway Jr., look, I'm one of his biggest critics. I'm always going to be measured and reserved, even in my praise of Tim Hardaway Jr., because you know it's going to turn the other direction relatively quickly. But, man, he goes on that one-man show of 10 points in a row last night. And
if you get that, it's great. They did a great job, I thought, on Chet.
Yeah.
They did a really nice job on Chet. So, and you got to do that. Like, he could be an X factor, like where the Mavs X factor is, what's PJ and what's Tim going to do? I think for Oklahoma City, I mean, you're going to get a lot of points from Shea, and he had a playoff career high, and they still lose. That's a bad sign for them. You're going to get a good game from Shea. They're going to have to get better from Chet if they want to win the series than they did last night.
Dude, Josh Giddey played 11 minutes last night.
Was that a lot?
He was minus 20.
I don't think that's a lot.
Which, I mean, minus 20 is normally like the age differential he likes between him and his girlfriends.
Wow.
But my goodness, minus 20 in 11 minutes is just brutal.
He didn't play a ton of minutes in game 1 either.
No.
So,
I mean, Chet Holmgren last night, this is a 9-point game, Chop. Okay? Chet Holmgren played 37 minutes. He was positive. You're talking about 37 of the 48 minutes, Oklahoma City with Chet Holmgren on the floor. They were +4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just, it's these little runs. They go up, they were up 13-2 early. And it was literally 80 seconds later, it was 16-14 or something.
They come back quick.
Yeah, and what's interesting with them is it's not just they're making shots and, you're missing stuff. It feels like disastrous when Oklahoma City starts coming back. Because Oklahoma City will not only knock down threes, but then they start kind of feeding off of it, and you see them playing more intense on defense, and you start seeing just silly turnovers, and Dallas just starts shooting themselves in the foot because of all these errors that Oklahoma City's forcing them into. And so that's why it feels so overwhelming, because it's on both sides of the court. Yeah. It's not just Oklahoma City starts knocking down shots. They start feeding off of it on the defensive end, and just really it feels overwhelming. And I think, boy, this did not feel like a 9-point victory last night for the Mavericks, but I will take it, and I will gladly have the split heading back to the AAC.
Look, it didn't. I could make the argument that it should have been. It felt like 20 because they were up by 10 so many different times. Like they were up by 10 so many different times this game, and that lead got cut. And
it was a game of runs.
It was. It felt like it should have been a lot more when in the first quarter. They had the first quarter up 3. I was like, dude, they should. They feels like they were up 11 this whole quarter. Yeah, and it ends at a 3-point margin. Like that's kind of the series we're in for. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be sweat. You're gonna sweat it out. You are.